To all my dear students, this is the second lecture on thermodynamics. In previous lecture, we have discussed about a basic introduction on thermodynamics, and we gained the basic idea on thermodynamic system, thermodynamic variables, thermodynamic equilibrium, thermodynamic process, and the equation of state of a thermodynamic process. Now, using the equation of state for a thermodynamic system, we can deduce expressions for some thermodynamic quantities. The equation of state for a thermodynamic system can be expressed as a function of basic thermodynamic variables, that is, a function of pressure, volume and temperature. And in thermodynamic equilibrium state, this function of pressure, volume and temperature will be equal to 0. Then we can express any variable among pressure, volume, temperature in terms of the other two. For example, we can write pressure P as a function of volume and temperature. Then the infinitesimal change in pressure, that is dP, can be written as in equation 1. And in equation 1, del P del T is the rate of change of pressure with volume when temperature is kept constant. Temperature is constant means in an isothermal process, and del P del Tv is the rate of change of pressure with temperature when volume is constant, that is for an isobaric process. Now for an isobaric process, the change of pressure will be equal to 0. Then from equation 1 we can write del P del T at constant V as equation 2. Now volume expansivity of a material in an isobaric process is defined as 1 by V del V del T at constant P, and it is denoted as beta. Then we can write del V del T at constant P equal to beta into V. Again, isothermal elasticity is denoted by ET and isothermal compressibility is denoted by KT, and they are reciprocal to each other and are defined as ET equal to 1 by KT equal to minus V into del P del V at constant temperature. Then del P del V at constant temperature will be equal to minus ET by V. Now using the definitions of beta and ET, we can write del P del T at constant V equal to beta into ET. Then equation 1 becomes change of pressure dP equal to minus ET by V dV plus beta ET dt. Now for an isobaric process, change of volume dV is equal to 0, and equation 6 becomes dP is equal to beta ET dt. Now using this expression, we can calculate the change in temperature for a finite change of pressure by integrating equation 7. And the change of pressure is related to change of temperature by equation 8. That is P2 minus P1 is equal to beta ET into T2 minus T1. Similarly, if we express volume as a function of pressure and temperature, we can write the change of volume dV equal to minus V by ET dP plus beta V dt. Here also we have used the definitions of beta and ET. Again, for an isobaric process, change of pressure dP is equal to 0. Then dV becomes equal to beta V dt, or dV by V is equal to beta dt. Now if we integrate this equation, we can get the change in volume for a given change in temperature, and the final relation among the change of temperature and change of volume becomes to be log V2 by V1 equal to beta T2 minus T1. Now for a mechanical system, work done is said to happen when the system undergoes a displacement due to the application of an applied force. and work done is measured by the product of the force and the component of displacement along the direction of that applied force. If a system exerts a force on the surroundings and a displacement takes place, work is said to be done either by the system or on the system, and this work is designated as an external work. Now, in comparison to the mechanical system, in case of a thermodynamic system, work is performed when a change of state from an initial configuration I to a final configuration F happens. Now, in comparison to the mechanical system, we can relate pressure P equivalent to force and change of volume dV equivalent to displacement in case of a thermodynamic process. Thus, for a thermodynamic process, the work done is defined as dW is equal to P into dV. Now, here we have considered the transition of a thermodynamic system from state I to state F along 4 different paths. The first one is the I1F, another one is I2F, the third one is ICF, and the last one is IDF. And these 4 defined paths along which the transition happens from state I to state F is represented in a PV diagram. Now, along the path I1F, the change of volume is equal to V2 minus V1 when the pressure remains constant at P2. Thus, along I1F, the work done should be equal to P2 into P2 minus V1. Similarly, along the path I2F, the work done should be equal to P1 into V2 minus V1. Now, the transition along the path ICF happens under an isothermal process, and later we will see that for an isothermal process, the work done equals RT log V2 minus V1. Thus, along the path ICF, the work done is equal to RT log V2 minus V1. And along path IDF, the work done is equal to half P1 plus P2 into V2 minus V1. Thus, we can see that the work done along the 4 different routes are different, which means that the work done depends on the path along which the transition happens from one state to another. Actually, geometrically we can express the work done as the area under the curve along which the transition occurs from the initial state to the final state, and thus the work done is different for different paths, which implies that work is a path dependent function, which means work done is not a state function. It does not depend only on the final and the initial state. It depends on the path along which the system is taken from the initial to the final state. Thank you all of my students, and in the next lecture we will continue with the first law of thermodynamics.